Now, Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 9 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone's having a great day out there, safe day. And let's make it a great night. And we get a real treat for you today, folks. We get a treat coming all the way from South Africa via Hollywood, Florida. Why Hollywood, Florida? Well, folks, the biggest mining and metal conference, and one of the largest in the world, is going on right now, the BMO Mining and Metal Conference over in Hollywood, Florida. We have our man, Mr. Graham Briggs. Graham is the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of Harmony Gold. Harmony trades on the NYSE, HMY. Graham, welcome back to TFNN.
Hi, Tom. Great to be here.
Well, you know what? You have to absolutely love technology, because listen to this, folks. This is so cool, okay? So how Graham's coming into us, we're going to South Africa. South Africa's coming back to Hollywood, Florida. Hollywood, Florida is going up to the satellite and going out to the rest of the country. You know, it's amazing what technology can do. And, you know, when we talk technology, can you talk to us, Graham, about, number one, and folks, Harmony Gold, when you talk the gold business, we're talking about Harmony takes out of the ground their fiscal 2011 took out 1.3 million ounces of gold. Can we talk a little bit about, you know, the different technologies that you actually use, Graham, and the safety you actually used in order to get that gold out of the ground and to the market?
Yeah, sure, Tom. You know, in South Africa we have quite deep mines. Our average depth of mine is about 2.2 kilometers or so just over a mile deep. And, you know, to get working in those conditions, be fairly labor-intensive. Working in those conditions, it's a big logistical exercise. Getting people down, getting people up, getting equipment down, getting the rock out, keeping it cool, keeping the environmental conditions, and keeping it safe. So a lot of technology goes into it. It's a big engineering and logistics feat to actually do this.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, the mining business in general, you know, of course, you know, we've seen the last, 10 years, the price of gold go up, substantially. The cost structure has gone up, but what is really intriguing, because of the rand structure in South Africa now, the rand is basically going your way, meaning that your expenses actually come down when the dollar goes higher and the rand goes lower. Can you explain how that works for our audience?
Yeah, Tom, it's basically if the rand weakens versus the dollar, we pay most of our bills in rands, and therefore it takes less dollars to pay the bills. And if the rand weakens like that, we obviously get more money for our gold because our gold is sold in dollars. So essentially it makes us more profitable if the rand is weaker because the exchange rate benefits us. We are one of the few companies worldwide where our grades are increasing, and of course this also helps in our favor because it will keep our costs down in future even despite inflationary pressures. So, the gold market is certainly interesting now. I think the gold markets and the stocks have really had a hammering of late. This is really a time to look at them.
Yeah, no, I'd absolutely agree. You know, it's amazing, and I'm sure that you could give us a little feedback at that conference. We've been in the gold market long enough to know that I'm sure all the vultures are out at that conference, right? As to seeing, what would be for sale, right? I'm not talking about Harmony. I'm talking about mines in general because of the fact that we've got the lower price.
Well, in this sort of climate, there are a lot of companies out there with projects and so forth who are probably going to struggle to fund them, and therefore they're going to be available for sale. There are companies that have low stock prices, and therefore that is an opportunity. Fortunately for a lot of the companies, everyone is looking at their cost structures and their expenses going forward. A lot of companies are trying to focus on shareholder returns, mainly dividends. So because the share prices are so far down, people are paying much higher dividend coverage now.
You know, when we look at, like Harmony in the U.S. right now is trading at 627. And what the amazing part is, as a company, Harmony is actually throwing off more cash, meaning free cash flow, than it has for quite a while, right?
Yes, absolutely. When we look at our financials, we've got a nice margin of somewhere around $260 between our total costs and the gold price. And that means, the ounces that we produce are all profitable. We've got money in the bank. And, we're in a net cash position, so more cash in the bank than debt. It's a very good position to be in, and it looks like that's going to continue for some time.
Folks, if you Google BMO conference, what you're going to see, if you Google BMO conference, total cash in, gold cost cash in, you're going to be, the reason I'm bringing this up, Graham, is that, I've had you on many times, and you always come and you talk specifically about total cash in, cost cash in. And there's a couple press releases out from the BMO conference today that a couple of the large gold companies, these would be Canadian gold companies, finally came out with total cash cost in, meaning that they've brought their cash costs up dramatically because they put it all in. Now that's going to be, I think that's going to be pretty cool because now everyone's talking apples to apples, right?
Yeah, sure. It's a changing thing, certainly amongst the major companies, including obviously the major Canadian American companies.
Yes.
Where people are moving away from just the cash cost, which is really the cost of getting a ounce out on the operations, but doesn't look at capital, doesn't look at sustaining costs and that type of thing, the G&A. Whereas companies now are sort of looking at the total cash costs and the total cost of getting an ounce out of the ground, and that in turn will give you a better idea of the profitability of the organization because the math then becomes a lot simpler. You can see what the total cost of an ounce is costing the company to get out of the ground, and you can look at the gold price. And the calculation becomes much easier.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And folks, you can come over to our website at TFN and hit the Harmony banner, because what's really important to understand about the mining business in general is that when you go into a jurisdiction, you get the ore out of the ground, but the key is, and this is, if you write on the front page of Harmony, you're going to see it's about sustainability, it's about taking care of the communities and taking care of the folks. Can you talk a little bit about the communities that you're working in and the relationships that you have, Graham?
Yeah, sure, Tom. It's you have to look at the total environment that you're working in. So not just the case of the employees that are working on the mine, not just the case of the shareholders, but you have to look at the communities you're working in, and you have to benefit the total environment. So it's a case of looking at the community, the health of the community, and so on. It's for us, it's really in some of our operations in South Africa, looking at the old structures we've left behind,
yes,
creating housing complexes, doing environmental rehabilitation, doing it concurrently instead of waiting for the end of the life of an operation is always better because it makes you much more. You can obviously, you've got the facilities and you've got the people to do it. So, it's all about the total issue of working, paying your taxes in the country, and obviously doing your best for shareholders as well, return for the shareholders.
It's interesting is that dealing, in knowing a lot of different companies, and it would make sense that the folks in South Africa would have the whole combined deal. And it looks like the other companies, in the world are coming your way, meaning that they understand that, hey, listen, if you're going to be in this business for a long time, you better take care of the land, you better take care of the people. And, if you do that, well, great. Then the shareholder is going to know right what the price is that you're actually getting something out of the ground for. So, you know, I mean, it's always a pleasure having you on. The education is absolutely phenomenal. We really appreciate the time. I know how busy you are over at that mining conference. And, of course, we look forward to having you on again, Graham.
Thank you very much, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Have a great one. Have a safe one. We look forward to having you on again.